Hi everyone. Okay, so today I'm going to show you how to turn your image into 3D. So let's start with, I like to start with the ground. So let's just make a new layer. So we have an empty layer there now. Now what I'm going to do is take my gradient tool, black and white. And what you need to keep in mind is that black is for, it means further away, and white means closer to the camera, basically closer to the lens. So sky will most likely always be black, it's always the furthest away, and your right here at front of your screen, like this grass area, will be white. So now I'm going to take the gradient tool, and I'm first going to start with the ground, because once you set the ground out as your foundation, that'll show you what will the house be, what will the tree be, what color will basically every object in your image be. You just base it on the ground. So I'll show you how to do that now. So um, our ground will end about somewhere there. So let's left click, hold shift, and then drag to the bottom of the screen. You can drag like somewhere there, and then let go. Okay, so now we have our sky is black and our foreground is fading to white. You can hide this layer now, create a new layer, and then now what we want to do is um, we want to take the lasso tool, polygonal lasso tool, and just select the house. So let's start the side. You don't have to be perfect, you can just go roughly. I think that's the part that takes the longest, is selecting the house. But at least it doesn't have to be a perfect selection. So I'm just gonna go past this tree. I don't still care much about that. Okay, so the house is somewhere there, so I'm just gonna go here straight through and take this corner here and then go all the way till where you started, and then just finish the selection there. Okay, so now we have a basic selection of the house. um, and now I just need to, since this tree is basically next to the house, you want to also include that, but I'll just brush this in afterwards. So now we can just show this layer again. Now basically what you want to do is you want to look at the bottom where your selection is. So this part of the house, the side will be this color because it's touching the space here. So you want to sample, take your paintbrush, sample that color, make your brush nice and big, and then just paint this part of the house. Now sample the other side there, and then paint that part. So it's going to fade from a lighter gray to a darker gray. You can just, if you go over it, you can just sample that area again and then just paint again. But what you can also do to fade it better is set the opacity lower, and then you can just try and get a nice fade from the light gray to the dark gray. Doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, so now let's do the side. So I've already got the section faded in here. Now let's get this side here. So I'm going to sample that color and then just fade it in, something like that. If you make it too harsh, and then you can just set the opacity a little bit lower and then fade it in. at the side here. Okay, so this line is going straight. It looks like the same color all the way through. So I can just set my brush now to 100% opacity and then just brush all the way through. And then now you can deselect, and that is basically how you do the house. So you always just basically sample from below the lasso, and then just paint up and down. Now let me just hide these layers and just have a look at this tree here. So I now need to brush in the tree a bit, and the tree will be the same color as the side of the house, so that will be the same color. Okay, so I'm gonna sample that. I can make a new layer, or I can just use the same layer and then just brush onto that. So remember, you don't have to be perfect, and you'll get better each time you do it. I think that's my the second time that I'm doing this, actually the third time. Okay, so I've got the tree in there. Now I have another tree here. So let me just see what color this tree should be. Okay, so it should be there. So let me just sample that color, and now hide these two layers. I'll make a new layer, and now I'll just brush in this tree here. So just try and stay on the inside, just to be safe. Okay, I think that's done. Now, one last thing that I want to do is I want to fade the house. Or, you know what, I'm just going to flatten this, and I'll just blur the entire image. I know that this is already soft, but this is fine because the trees had like leaves that I didn't cover completely, so that'll just probably help. So let me go to the filters and then blur, and then Gaussian blur, and I'm just leaving mine on that, and you can see here how much blur it added. So it doesn't matter about the amount of blur that you're using, just let it look somewhat similar to this. And now I need to save this with that line there at the bottom. I don't know what you call that line, but that line there, and then depth. So this is the file name, the original file name, and then you just add that line and then depth, and then save. And then take your image, take your gray layer, your depth layer, and your image, and then go to Facebook, and then drag both images onto Facebook, onto the post basically, and then that will load, and Facebook will do everything on its own. Yeah, so that's taking 10 years now. and now creating the 3D, and you can preview this without posting it. Okay, so there we go, and that's your 3D. So yeah, as you can see here by the tree, it's doesn't look too bad, so you don't have to worry about going so creating a perfect selection, because it is getting blurred. I hope this helps, guys. Cheers.